Hi guys. Today we're going to do a TRX primer. We're going to show you how to set up your straps, and we're also going to talk about positions and muscle activation as well as stability and core control as you're working through the exercises on the TRX. So we'll also get to some of the basic exercises on TRX so that as you start your TRX workouts with us, you can understand where you should feel it and how you should feel it and how things should work. Let's go. So I've got a couple of different versions of my TRX straps, and we're going to talk a little bit about how they function and the different parts and pieces so that as you are doing your workout, you're familiar with your equipment. I'm going to start at the top, and we have these two different carabiner style loops on them. And one of these is an older version of the straps and one is a newer version of the straps. So they function the same. They kind of hook in and unhook. And that attaches them to your strap that goes on your mount or to the strap that goes over the door if you're using that. And then I have this little level here. It forms like a little rectangular box. And what that does is it tells you that your straps are even as you're working. And then as I travel down the straps, I have hash marks here. So I have single hash marks at the very, very top, and that's going to indicate that your straps are all the way short. I have double hash marks in the middle that indicates your halfway point for your straps. And then at the bottom, when the straps are all the way long, that's an indication that they're at the longest point. To adjust your straps, we have two different mechanisms. On this very older strap model, you have a pull tab or a push tab mechanism. You have a little metal tab and you're going to push that down and then grab the yellow floppy tag to pull up and adjust your straps. And then you have your handles, neoprene handles, that are for your hands. They're padded, nice and comfortable. And then the foot loops where your foot goes for some of your foot exercises. Okay, on the other version of the straps, everything works the same. I just want to show you the sliding mechanism for the up and down because it is a little different than the older version. So on this one, you don't have a tab. You just grab the piece and grab the yellow piece and it slides up and down. Now, to shorten or lengthen your straps is quite easy. To shorten your straps, if they are in any long position, including the all the way long position, you are going to grab one strap. You're going to either push down on that push tab or grab the top of that other tab and then grab the yellow floppy tab and then pull up. Now you can pull up to that halfway hash point or all the way up to that shorter hash mark if you need to. Okay, and then you're going to let go of the one you just shortened. You're going to grab the other one and adjust that one by grabbing the yellow loop. And then you just want to make sure you look at that level at the top and make sure it's flat in that rectangular shape and that your handles are level and even, and then you're good to go there. To lengthen your straps, it's even easier. You're going to grab both of your adjustment tabs, whether they be the push one or the other one, and you're going to pull all the way down. Or you're going to pull halfway down if you're not going all the way. Okay? And now your straps are in a lengthened position. Depending what exercises you're doing is where you want your straps, and we'll walk through that as we walk through some of the exercises too. So the first thing I want to talk about with the TRX straps is the stabilization through the shoulder girdle that you're going to need to have your weight against the strap. So TRX is body weight exercises done against gravity. So the stability that you have in your shoulder girdle that you also have from Pilates is going to help you keep yourself in the right position and from hanging in your joints as you work against gravity with your straps. So one of the first things that we're going to work on is the squat. I'm going to have my legs just about shoulder distance apart, just a basic squat position. I'm going to have my elbows in by my side. And you want your straps long enough that you can have this position standing tall on your 2 feet. Now my straps are fairly tight and that's what you want here. You don't want them too slack or hanging. And then as I go to squat down, I'm going to set my shoulders down, engaging through my lats, and I'm going to squat back into my heels. Now, my straps are tight here and I'm supporting myself with my shoulder girdle. You can see my legs are parallel to the ground as if I'm sitting in a chair. I can wiggle my toes here, so I'm in that squat position with the weight on my heels, and my shoulder girdle is strong. Now, and then I want to make sure I can push into my feet and stand up tall. So I want to be able to stabilize in my squat position without hanging into my straps. Now, as I squat down, my arms are going to go long here, so I get that full benefit of having the support of the straps, because I can get a little bit lower. Now, you'll notice that my butt is below my knees here because I have a little bit of support from those straps here as I work, and then I'm going to come up. So you get full activation of those thighs and those glutes and those hamstrings in your squat position. Now notice that my shoulder girdle is nice and strong, and I'm using my legs for the primary movement here. Okay, so my straps are giving me support in this very end range, but they're not something that I'm relying on completely. Now, a couple of things can go wrong here. If you lose your shoulder girdle stability and you lose your ability to do your squat on your own, you're going to feel like you're hanging in your straps here. Okay, so now I could not support myself here on my own. My shoulders are not stable. I'm all the way back, and I'm using my arms to pull me up. So you don't want that ability there to use your straps to pull you up. You want to be able to do the work with the legs. And that's one of the really common challenges with the TRX straps, because you are holding them with your arms, is to let your arms do the work. So you want your legs to be the driver and the straps to be the support. Okay, so that's your squat. My shoulder girdle is down, my abs are tight, I'm sitting back into my chair in my squat position. My arms go long as I squat down without hanging into the straps, and they bend as I come up into a relaxed position. Okay, you can also do your squats wide and turned out, more of a plie position. The one thing with the straps that you want to make sure of is that they are level and even, okay, as you work, and that you keep them that way as you work. There is a term in TRX called saw, which means that you shift the straps in one direction or the other, and it's more apparent in some exercises than in others. But the goal is to keep them level and even so that your body is symmetrical and balanced, okay? A lot of the things that we work on in Pilates also. So that was your squat. We also have a lunge position, and you can work on that stability here. We'll do that next. So for that one, I'm going to shorten my straps a little bit so that I can keep a little bit of the tension in them as I go. And as I shorten those straps, I want to make sure they're level and even, and then I still have the ability to have them tight and bent. Okay, so you've got forward and back lunges, all of the stability still applies, and your lunge position. So I'm going to pick my leg up and I'm going to bring it behind me into that lunge. Now, with the TRX straps, again, the arms are long. You can get that knee all the way down to the ground, that front knee still at that 90-degree point. And then I'm going to use my legs to push myself up, right? So again, that ability to keep the arms stable without using them to pull me up. Okay, so that's your front lunge. You can also add in your balance challenges. Okay, so there are different progressions with your TRX exercises. One progression would be to do your lunge down and up. The second one would be to do the lunge with the knee. Okay, and then the third one would be to do the lunge with the foot completely off the ground, challenging your stability and your strength. Now, this is one of the exercises where you do have that tendency to shift to your more dominant side, so you want to make sure you don't saw the straps. So we also have a forward lunge. So you pick one leg up, arms out, and we lunge down into that position there. Again, the front knee still at 90, back heel stays up. Arms are out in front of you, supporting you, but not pulling you. And then you can go up and down here in that very first progression. Or you can step back into that knee and then down into that lunge and step back into the knee. So that's another progression up in your forward lunge, balancing with that knee up. So for the upper body, all of the stability rules still apply. You still have all that shoulder girdle stability that you're looking for. You've got your abdominal control and the ability to stabilize with your straps, keeping them level and even. You can do any of your typical upper body exercises, arms, biceps, triceps, shoulder girdle work, mid-back work, chest work. So all of that can be done with your TRX straps. The positions might be different than you're used to, and the strength piece will be one to get used to using the straps, but they are all very effective using your own body weight for your strength. So for a typical mid-back row, and that's one of the easiest ones to learn here, you want to make sure that you have the room behind you to get your arms long, and then that ability to lean into that. So I have my legs about shoulder distance apart. My elbows are going to start bent, and I'm going to lengthen them out here. So now I'm in a little bit of a reverse plank position. My hips are forward, my pelvis is neutral, my shoulder girdle is strong, so I'm not hanging in those arms. And then I'm going to use my body weight to pull me up. Now, my straps are long and tight here, and I would fall backwards if I were to let go of them. So I'm going to use my strong exhale to stabilize and pull myself up. Now, my ropes here at the end range are tight. You don't want to come beyond that and have your ropes go slack, because then you have to stabilize and put your body through a little bit of stress to get back into the right position. So you only pull yourself up to the point where the ropes stay tight, and you keep that tension. So that, like Pilates, where we work against the reformer springs, you never really get to relax. So now my elbows are high and out to the side. I'm looking at my suspension point here so that my neck follows the shape of my spine here as I work. My hips are forward. I'm feeling this in the mid, back by the shoulder girdle. And you can see that I'm not hanging in my straps at the end. So a couple of things can go wrong here. You can come down too far and hang, and then you can come up too far and let go of the tension, and then it just becomes a little bit too much momentum and a little bit of strain on the shoulder girdle. So that can also be applied to your bicep curls, which are definitely a little bit more challenging, pulling all your body weight up against gravity. So I've got my palms up for this version. My shoulders are stable. I'm still in that little reverse plank. I'm looking at my suspension point. I'm going to use my strong breath to exhale, bend my handles towards my face. I'm still looking at that suspension point, and then lengthen them out. Exhale, pull them up. Now again, when I pull them up, I'm only at the point where my straps stay tight. My shoulders are away from my ears, and I'm making sure that I've got that rib-hip oblique connection that we talk about a lot in Pilates, so that I don't arch my back and pull myself up that way. You also don't want to pull so far that your tension goes, which is a very big temptation here, because this is really challenging to pull all your body weight up and keep the tension so that you're active at the end range on your straps. So those are two of your strap facing exercises for your upper body. We can also work through the front of the body using the TRX straps with a different position facing away from the straps. So the work we did earlier for the mid-back and the arms was done facing the straps. This work that we're going to do for the chest and the triceps, the back of the arms, is done facing away from the straps. So we walk ourselves through our straps with your suspension point behind you, and you have your straps in your hands. Now, I'm going to start in a regular plank position, up onto my toes, leaning in, connected in through my rib cage and my obliques, shoulder girdle nice and strong. So, making sure your straps are level and you're connected here. I'm going to start just looking slightly away from me so my neck is in that nice long line. Inhaling, keeping my control as I bend my elbows for my push-up position, keeping my shoulder girdle strong and my obliques wrapped up tight, and then exhale to push myself away, coming to the point where the straps are tight. Inhale to bend, and exhale to press. So that is your TRX push-up. We can also do the push-up in different positions with the feet in the straps, but this one here using the straps for the hands. Now you do want to make sure that you stay connected in through that shoulder girdle so that you're not falling back and straining through the back and the neck. And when you push yourself away, making sure that you stay in that stable shoulder girdle so that you don't hunch and round and come back too far. Inhale to bend, exhale to press up. In this position, we can also work on the triceps, and I'm going to stretch my arms forward and overhead. Now I am going to tighten up my straps for this. So I'm going to engage that little push lever and pull up. Now I'm pulling somewhere just beyond that halfway point. So I've used those 2 hash marks as a guide, making sure that my level is level. This one starts with the arms up over the head in any position that works stable. So you can have them slightly forward, you can have them all the way back, as long as you are connected in through your shoulder girdle. So I'm going to do a nice little halfway point here. Again, I'm going to be in that plank position with the rest of my body connected in my rib cage and my obliques. Inhale to bend the elbows. Now here, I've got my elbows bent, my stability and my control leaning into those straps, and those shoulders are down. And then to exhale and push away, keeping those arms long and that tension in those straps again. Inhale to bend, exhale to press. Now, similar to our biceps, all of this work is being done through the arm muscles, pushing up all of your body weight. So it is fatiguing and can lead to improper form. So you want to make sure you slide those shoulders down and you've got that connection in through those abdominals here as you work. Inhale to bend, exhale. And again, when I reach that end point, I still have tension in my straps. I haven't come back to the point where I've let them go. So upper body in both directions, facing towards and facing away from your straps. The one last set of components that we need to talk about in our straps is with our feet in the straps. And we can do these, again, facing the straps and facing away from the straps. So for these, you do want your straps in the longest position. You might have to alter them slightly up from there, depending where your ropes hit on the floor and your body, but for the most part, starting in that all the way long position. And you'll notice as I was talking, I grabbed both of my tabs, pushed them down, and pulled my straps all the way down. So then your straps are hanging from their suspension point, and you want to let them hang from that suspension point just gently and easily, having that be your neutral and your position of start. We're going to start facing your straps here, and I'm going to sit on my mat, and I'm going to make sure my straps aren't twisted. Now, our feet go in the foot loops. They do not go in the padded neoprene handles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the heel of my foot. Now you can do these barefoot, you can do them with shoes. Generally with shoes you have a little bit more grip and it stays in place a little bit easier. One foot goes in one, the foot is in front of the neoprene handle so that your foot is flexed back. And then I'm going to place the other one in the other one. Now, you want to pull down and make sure your straps are level and even, and that your legs are at the point where your straps are in a neutral place. So they're not being pulled too close to you or too far away from you. And we're going to do just a really basic, easy hamstring curl here that will allow us to work through those straps and see how it works to work evenly also. So I'm going to scoot myself a little bit forward and I'm going to lie down. And this is going to have my knees slightly bent and my straps in their right spot, right underneath their suspension point. So my feet are flexed back. I've got a lot of downward pressure into my straps here. And you want to keep that downward pressure as we work as a way to keep your legs in your straps. So I'm going to reposition myself here. My legs out nice and long, abs nice and tight. So pelvis is neutral. Head is going to rest down for these. Again, and we have progressions as we do for the other exercises. So right now, I'm going to keep my tailbone down, my rib cage wrap, my abs tight. And I'm going to exhale and pull my legs in for a hamstring and then press them out long. Now, exhale to drag them in and then lengthen them out. And as I'm dragging them in, I'm pressing down into my foot cradles, keeping my feet flexed and my legs in their parallel alignment. So this is your very first progression, nice and easy. And in this position, you want to feel your hamstrings do the work. Exhale, pull, and then lengthen out. I've got my abdominals controlled as I'm moving. Now, I am going to show you the next progression up, which is a lift of the hips. Head and shoulders stay down. And now, using my breath, I'm going to exhale, hover my hips an inch up off the mat so my glutes are not down, and I'm going to exhale, pull those legs in, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pull those legs in, inhale to lengthen. And again, using that strong breath, keeping the legs in alignment. 2 more, and really working to keep those hips an inch up off the mat and down. Excellent. You can then progress that up to raise your hips up higher or to work with one leg at a time for a little bit more of a challenge. Now, as we were working, both of our legs were pressing down evenly, so the straps did not raise or lower. Next thing that we're going to do is work on our other direction away from the straps here. Now, this is a little bit more challenging to get into your straps. I'm going to show you how to do that. So sitting with your straps long in each hand, you're going to take your right leg and you're going to cross it over your left leg and place it in your foot strap. You can let that push down. Then you're going to take your left leg across your right and place that in the foot strap. Whichever leg is on top is the direction that you're going to switch over to. So I'm going to flip over towards my right with my left leg on top and flip so that my shoelaces are now against my foot cradles, and then you just want to make sure your straps are level and even. That is really the easiest way to get into those straps. You can kneel and place one foot in at a time, but that gets a little bit more challenging as you try to come back down and put the other foot in. So here we are. I'm down. I've got my feet in my straps, my shoelaces are in my foot cradles, and we're going to just start with a little bit of a kneeling plank, and then we'll pull those legs in. So I'm going to take my elbows down underneath my shoulders. My abs are tight, and then I'm going to send my legs out long. Take a look down there, just make sure your straps are level, and then adjust up or down if you need to. So exhale, engaging, and I am literally in a plank here. Now, stable here, I'm going to pull my knees in, and I'm going to press them out. Now, that is a progression, keep that in mind, from just the plank, which in and of itself is a very challenging exercise with your feet lifted up off the mat because you don't have anything to stabilize against that's a solid surface. So the TRX straps do move underneath you. Your instability is going to be apparent as you work and stabilize. I'm going to take my knees down. I'm just going to slide my feet out of those foot straps. There. So, feet in the straps facing towards and facing away from your suspension point. That plank position, very, very challenging, and you can do quite a bit there and progress your workouts quite a bit for your stability and your strength in your core there. Facing towards your straps with your heels in the foot loops, also a way to challenge through the core and the abs as you work through your legs there. So that's your TRX primer. We've learned about your straps. We've done some exercises for the upper and the lower body. We've also done some exercises with your feet in the straps for the upper body and the lower body. And you also get a lot of core in every one of those exercises. So the beauty of the straps is that it really adds on to all of the Pilates things that we've learned, but adds an element of strength to it that you don't necessarily get in a Pilates mat workout. You do get a little bit with your reformer springs, but this is a whole degree of strength that really picks it up a level and challenges your body with a very, very simple tool. These, again, can hook up in a number of different places. There's a piece that comes with your kit that sets it over the top of a door so you can work out anywhere. You can hook the mount up to the ceiling in your basement. You can take them outside and wrap it around a tree. You can put it out on the deck. So there are a number of different places that you can attach these straps for a very quick and versatile workout. Stay tuned for more of our TRX workouts as we go along, and we'll give you a sense of what you can do with your straps. Have a great day.